From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE, direct from Santa Monica, California, on your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. The RECON will become a law next week, represents Leader Schumer. The RECON is heading to the finish line, and it's going to have lots of checks in there, multiple checks that'll be passed by the Senate with about $15,000 to start coming to your wallet. It's incredible sums of money. The biggest RECON we've ever seen in the history of this channel, and this recording would go over those incredible checks. But no time and place to wait for fourth stimulus to become a law, because you can get checks today. And viewers have over the last 2 weeks. We call this third stimulus or Christmas stimulus because it's still paying out, and viewers are averaging a lot of cash. 24-hour turnaround time, thousands of dollars to get their holiday gifts paid for and more, because their rent and utilities is being freed up. I'll go over how to get this incredible holiday Christmas stimulus from third stimulus in the second half of this video. We'll be turning to that student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, plus the breaking news about this stimulus and that COLA raise. And in less than 24 hours, boy, here we go. The Federal Reserve will announce its Fed policy for next year. A two-day summit starting on the 14th and continuing on the 15th of December. This signals where the Federal Reserve is going to go with tightening and with interest rate spikes. I have all the latest details in a big afternoon recording, but the big breaking news is that Leader Schumer signals once again that your RECON is becoming a law next week. Wow. I'll go over all the analysis, those incredible checks in this fourth stimulus RECON, the biggest payout you ever seen in the history of the channel. We'll be going over third stimulus, how to get that incredible holiday stimulus, how to get everything you needed, everything you ever wanted. Oh, where's my bacon? You know, you can only have so much of it. You can only have so much in life. The incredible deliciousness, with the exception of the bacon, starts right here, right now, as we go into a jaw-dropping final week of that RECON, starting right now as Afternoons LA gets underway from Santa Monica, California, this moment. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And here we go. That RECON is in the House, sent to the Senate, and is set to become a law next week, says Leader Schumer. Can he get it done? I'll have all the analysis in today's recording with new indications today that he can get it done. Whoa, what happened? Senate changes. Those Senate changes come in, and the Senate parliamentarian set to rule this week as well. Those checks in that RECON, fourth stimulus RECON, multiple, many of them, lots of them. Get your pen and paper ready, because you're going to pounce as a purple hawk and get this money hawk before anyone else. It is fourth stimulus. We're going to turn back to how to get money today. You want some holiday stimulus? You want some Christmas stimulus? Well, viewers have listened, and they've learned, and they have cleaned up, getting thousands of dollars in their wallet, an average of $5,000 in their wallet this week. I'm going to show you how to get that money, and if you haven't, I'm going to show you how to get it, and if you have, I'm going to show you how to get more of it. It's coming up in the final 5 minutes of this video. Stay to the very end. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, plus the breaking news about this stimulus and what to expect with the Federal Reserve meeting in the next 48 hours. They're meeting on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll go over all those incredible details. But here we go. You don't want to miss a single video over the next 14 days, because this is the finish line, folks. This is the finish line where programs are going to come out, programs are going to go in, they're going to get modified. So I want you to subscribe. Go right on this video right now and hit that subscribe button so that you do not miss a critical video over the next 14 days. As soon as this goes live, it's going to be a sea of people trying to get this money. You want to be first in the door to get the money. Become a member of this channel to get an incredible newsletter about this incredible sums of money when it becomes law, and the third stimulus, how to get that money right now. And sign up for those LALATE alerts, which is totally free. It is also under the description of this video. As we go into these final 14 days, here we go, folks. Very exciting. Final 14 days of this fourth stimulus RECON. So says Leader Schumer. It's either 7 days or 14 days. I'll go over all the analysis starting right now. But boy, here we go. There's at least $15,000 of checks in there. Are you excited? I am. Can you feel it in my voice? I'd be a lot more excited. There's some bacon on set, but you know, I can only do so well. Let's go to the first cluster of checks. Here we go. Hazard pay got in there, and the $4,000 of elder care got in there. Incredible. They got in there the Pell Grant $550 check for my college student. They got in there the child care credit as well, about $4,000. They got in there the home repairs if they live in a low-income community. They got in there the CTC $1,200, $1,600. It should be $3,600 for one more year. And then they got in there the $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Wow, it's incredible. The first add-on comes from the illustrious Maxine Waters here from Southern California. She got that provision in there. What did she want to get in there? Free home money to buy your first home. It's incredible. She wanted to give you $25,000. She got a little bit less. Again, this is money to buy your first home. Incredible. How do you get this incredible sums of money? You stay with me because I'm going to go over each of these checks one at a time. This is your big payday. You want to know how to get every single one of these checks verbatim. Let's go to the second cluster. We got 3 clusters and 2 add-ons. Second cluster has in there the paid leave, the home health care, the child care, the household tax credit, the pre-kindergarten, and also the weatherize your home. You need to weatherize your home so you're in that holiday spirit. No, that is winterizing. We're talking about weatherizing, just to sustain natural disasters, like when every time Mitch McConnell sings on Star Search. Yeah, it's just a natural disaster. Just a natural disaster. Cover your ears, lock your windows, and tape your glass because Mitch is singing on Star Search. Let's go to the second add-on of checks. It comes from the illustrious Bob Casey. He wanted to get it in there. He got it in there. How much? He wanted $250. He got a little bit less. And what is this for? Free home healthcare for my seniors and people on disabilities. Wow, this is incredible. He went in $250. He got a little bit less. Let's go to the third cluster of checks. Here we go. This is where we find the deliciousness. They got in there money for free internet and seniors. So in this third cluster, they got in there cheaper prescription medication, the immigration reform, free school meals for all checks. They got in there the farmers, also the free internet, also the independent contractors, and then the money for the seniors, which comes in 2 parts. First, the expansion of Medicare on the House side and the expansion of Medicare on the Senate side. Well, let's compare and contrast. So the House got the expansion of Medicare in there with the hearing and the Medicaid gap fix, and the Senate vows to add 3 other provisions for my seniors on that Medicare expansion, which is dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, which is par for the course for what we're looking at when we talk about MSC, because guess what? The Senate just vowed to add it back in the month of May. Viewers are being told by those senators it's going in there. After viewers picked up the phone and advocated per my guidance back in the month of May, thousands and thousands of viewers were told an MSC would be going in there. What does MSC stand for? It stands for multiple IRS stimulus checks. Now, the reason why we use the word IRS is because the Fourth Stimulus Recon has multiple checks in there for you. Lots of them. Lots and lots of checks. We use the word IRS to refer to the one that's sent out by IRS. And what did the legislators tell the viewers? Well, thousands of viewers were told by the 6 senators back in the month of May, it's going in there. They said the same eligibility would be a third stimulus check, $75,000 or less. Single individual got it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, got it. Double it. Family of 4, they got it. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits, you got it as well. It's not taxable. It's not income. It is across all U.S. states, and it's also for adult dependents. Now, what are they talking about when they look at the current MSC situation? Well, 2 weeks ago, the legislation landed in the Senate, and I said, now is your time to advocate really strong because the ball is in their court. And you did. It started with Janet picking up the phone and calling over to Chuck Schumer's office the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and being told it's going in there via Bernie Sanders. Then Lynn Glenn picking up the phone and reaching out to Chris Coons' office and being told it's going in there. Then the incredible message kept on coming across the board as the wonderful Donnie and his wife Sharon picked up the phone and spoke to Ron Wyden's office and was told it's going in there. Tyrell picking up the phone and speaking to Bob Casey's office and being told it's going in there. And Bonnie picking up the phone and speaking to Liz Warren's office and being told it's going in there as well. So that's why it's important for you to advocate. We're at the finish line, folks. We are 7 to 14 days away from this becoming a law. So now is the time to spend picking up the phone and advocating, speaking to those staffers in D.C., and at worst, leaving a voice message. And who do you contact? Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. They want to hear from you. Let's go over those names again or write them down. These are offices you call. Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. They need to hear that you want this in this recon. Now, the number one guy in that recon, his chief of staff, tells the viewers of this channel that we have delivered, in essence, more advocacy than any place in the United States. We're now upwards of 8 million, but that we need to continue to advocate until we are over the finish line, which is about 2 weeks away. They now have in total between congressional senators' offices received more contacts of advocacy from the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures in the American petition. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring touching stories. Now they have a better understanding of what Americans are going through during this pandemic. They have heartbreaking stories in the voice of the people across the nation, LA, as you have become too loud to be ignored. Please continue your encouragement for the continued advocacy as the professional voice of the people you have become until this becomes law. Also, give yourself some time to advocate for your wallet. And advocating for your wallet involves picking up the phone and getting third stimulus that is available right now. And that third stimulus, viewers have really cleaned up well in the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I brought third stimulus back on this channel, and I said, go get it, and you did. This is your Christmas stimulus. This is your holiday stimulus. In the second half of this video, I'm going to show you how to get it. Average payout to the viewers of this channel in the last 2 weeks, $5,000. Yes, it's $5,000 in your hand that is now going to those holiday gifts, and more people are having a wonderful Christmas on this channel because they've listened, learned, and applied the information. And in the final 5 minutes of this video, I'm going to show you how to get more money than even that if you have already gotten it. Then we go to that student loan debt forgiveness. We'll go to that fifth stimulus. We'll go to the breaking news about what to anticipate. On Tuesday and Wednesday, as the Federal Reserve meets to discuss its Fed policies next year. It is critical, and it's important you understand it. But we're going to go to that incredible recon that is going to the finish line. That recon is about to get passed in the next 7 to 14 days. Is it 7 or is it 14? I'll explain the latest details. The Senate change is coming, and those programs, get that pen and paper ready because you want to pounce as a Purple Hawk. It's first come, first serve. As soon as these programs go live, those details and more coming up in the second half. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as a big Afternoons LA roars into those final stretch, and we have a lot of breaking news, folks. Stay with me as Afternoons LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then Afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now in the second half of this big Afternoons broadcast. Boy, here we go. The finish line is right in front of us. 7 to 14 days from now, your recon will become law. We're going to go over the Senate changes that are happening, the details that are happening this week, what's happening next week. And get your pen and paper out because you're ready to pounce. This is first come, first serve. Checks in this fourth stimulus recon. Lots of them. Multiple checks. At least $15,000 of multiple checks. I'm going to show you how to get the money. But I'm also going to show you how to get third stimulus. This is your holiday stimulus. This is the money you're going to get in your wallet today. That's coming up in the second half of this video. We'll turn to that student loan debt forgiveness, what's happening with that. We'll be turning to the fifth stimulus and what's going on with that. Then we turn to the breaking news of what to anticipate with the Federal Reserve meeting tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday. Those details that you need to know coming up in the second half. And the final 5 minutes of this video, stay to the very end when you see my analysis of the situation and what to anticipate going to these final stretches of this recon. But first, go under this video and subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in a year. I want you part of this incredible family. Like this video, become part of the number 3 most watched financial news channel in the United States, broadcast or internet-based. Sign up for that membership link that's under the video, and sign up also for that LALATE alerts, which is totally free under the video today, so you get alert when a new video goes live or breaking news across the board. And with that, let's go into the latest details as we start a big afternoon's broadcast starting right now with the details of what is unfolding in Congress. All right, so let's take it back a step. Over the last year, you've heard a lot of deadlines from Chuck Schumer. He said it was going to get done by July 14th. He said it was going to get done by a September date. His latest deadline is a, quote, self-imposed deadline. His self-imposed deadline has been manifested to him by Chuck Schumer in 2 very different quotes. Sometimes Chuck Schumer says it will be passed by the Senate by Christmas. And other versions, he says it will become a law by the Senate, but become a law by Christmas. Now, let's understand, they're very different quotes. To become a law, something has to pass both the House and the Senate and be signed by the president. Now, we all understand that maybe the president would hold it for a day or 2 to sign it. We're not worried about the president signing it. We're talking about the House and Senate. If they change a word, which they have on the Senate side, we have to go back to the House for a vote. Now, sometimes those votes back in the House could take, all of a half a day, 2 hours. Sometimes it takes a day. Sometimes it takes 2 days. But I'm allocating at least 1 day for it. Now, I've seen it sometimes they don't do in a few hours. I understand. So how long does it take for the voting on the Senate side? Well, you need a Senate vote on the Senate floor. Then you need a 2-day vote-a-rama if Chuck Schumer does afford that, which I believe he's going to, and that is 3 days. Then you have to go back to the House. That's 4 days. So when we're talking about timeline, can Chuck Schumer get it done by Christmas? It's very, very tight. I mean, over the weekend, I said, no, I don't think there's enough timeline. But I looked back at the calendar and I said, well, if you count it out and he starts exactly on Monday next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he's just down to the hour. He can get it done next week if he starts on Monday. But if he starts voting on Wednesday, I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen the following week. Now, what have I been saying for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, is that it is going to become a law in the month of December. I just don't think it's going to happen before December 24th. I think it's going to happen about the 27th, 28th. Why do I think it's going to happen? Why do I think it's going to become a law this time? I think it's totally a different situation this time. There's a few things at issue. First, I've never seen both liberal and conservative analysts both saying it's going to get done. They both say it's going to get done in the month of December. They don't say Christmas. They say the month of December like me. Number 2, most of the long-standing, pragmatic, sort of intellectual Democrats in the Senate say it's going to get done because if we don't get it done, we have a time bomb for January. Why? Because many of the provisions in this 4th stimulus recon are continuation provisions from 3rd stimulus recon. And the way the 4th stimulus is written is that it's a continuation of existing live law. If the law becomes expired, then you can't extend it. When do they expire? They expire January 14th, 15th, but you can't do this as law the first week of January. You have to do it in mid to late December, says Tim Kaine, the longstanding Democratic senator. So I agree with that additionally. Moreover, this is a different ball of wax than it was a week ago. We now know why the whole plate of activities to be done, the to-do list of December, has been cleared because of a secret series of meetings that happened with Mitch and Chuck starting before Halloween. Mitch reached out to Chuck before Halloween, we learned just last week, and said, I don't want to have any more procedural battles with you in 2021. You can do substantively what you want to do. I'm not going to co-sign anything you're going to do with your spending, but I'm not going to make procedural games with you. So we're going to procedurally do things bipartisan. And that is why this breath of fresh air has happened. They got the debt ceiling limit done. They got the defense spending bill. They have everything done with the exception of this recon. So there is now a clean schedule. Everyone's calendars are clear of senators to get this done. So I think it's going to become law absolutely in the month of December. Do I think it's going to become a law before Christmas? It's really tight, folks. It's down to the hour. I mean, it's really down the hour. Does it make much of a difference? No, it really doesn't make a difference. Does it get done on the 24th or the 27th? It doesn't make a difference. Now, What I do want you to know is I want you to stay the final 5 minutes of this video because I want to go over how the coverage of the subject matter and the voting is going to be very, very confusing. And I'm going to make it not here, but elsewhere. I'll just explain it to you. Stay to the final 5 minutes of this video. Plus, I have additional sums of money for you to get in the final 5 minutes of the video. Let's go to these incredible provisions in this RECON. Now, let's do a reality check. These checks, multiple checks, in this fourth stimulus RECON are an enormous payday for you folks. It's the biggest payday we've ever seen in the history of this channel. And you're going to clean up because you have been viewers who have been Purple Hawk since day one. You have been able to learn, educate, pounce, and get sums of money. You've been doing this for over a year. People who think that things just automatically land in a mailbox are not going to be happy with this RECON because this is not a just sort of land in the mailbox type of RECON. This is a RECON where you have to do stuff, and getting stuff gets you massive, massive paydays. And let's go to the first item in there. They got in there the paid leave. Wow, that's incredible. It's $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year, approximately. $35,000 annual salary, about $800 a week. If your annual salary is about $15,000, then about $400 a week. How many weeks? About 4 weeks per year. Yeah, so it's about $5,000 to $6,000 on the high end. And the great news is all income qualifications and all type of workers, W-2, 1099. So if your son or daughter drives for Uber, for example, and you're retired, but you live with your son or daughter, and they have to take off 1 or 2 days to take you to the doctor, then they're going to get checks paid to them for their services for you. Incredible. They got the SALT cap in there. It's huge. It will bring the SALT cap from $10,000 to $72,500 of what you can deduct in state and local taxes on that incredible RECON. And that is absolutely incredible. They got $40 billion of free job training in there, which is critical because millions of Americans want to take a higher paying job. And then they got in there the Medicaid gap fix. This is very important. This is a question I get asked every single day. Where is that cheaper medical insurance? Here it is. 12 Republican states vowed to never pay for medical insurance from Obamacare. So the Democrats got a workaround plan in there. They got that workaround plan in there. They'll provide 12 holdout states subsidized private insurance to low-income uninsured people in those states over a duration of a very long time. Incredible. Which then brings us to the best provisions, RECON, which is the rent and the housing and the mortgage assistance. We call it the housing. And it's about $150 billion. Wow. There are 6 provisions in there. The first 3 are new, which are the home repairs, the weatherize your home, the first-time home purchases. I'm coming up to that in just a second. But the other 3 provisions, you recognize they're a continuation of third stimulus, and they are rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And we're going to go over all the incredible sums of money right now because guess what? You don't have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law. You can get it right today from third stimulus. Your Christmas holiday stimulus is in front of us. Here we go. So get your pen and paper ready. But first, let me go back in time to go over how we got to this incredible spot. In December 2020, viewers were waiting on this channel for second stimulus to become law. It was not law. We were at the end of first stimulus. There wasn't a lot of money out there. And I said, I'm going to show you how to get some money during the holiday season. I got you $250,000 for rent and utilities to help carry you through the holiday season 2020. Like Tyrona's family 4 out of Boston got $15,000 for rent starting in December 2020, bringing them all the way to the new year. It freed up money and cash in their bills so that they had money for the holiday gifts. But I also told you at the time that I saw a new body of legislation coming around the corner, and I had exclusive of what it was going to be in there. And I said, I'm looking at it, and it looks like there's a $14 stimulus check in there, but there's a lot more money in there. It looks like there's about $15,000. Focus on the $15,000 because when it becomes law, I think I can get it for you. Well, it became law, and it became what I coined an expression on this channel, third stimulus. Third stimulus became law. And when it became law, I said, don't focus on the $14 stimulus check. Focus on the $15,000 I can get you in this RECON. And you know what's even better? Is that you have the skills to get this money because you've been getting it since last December 2020. And when it became a law, you pounced. Hawk, hawk. Purple Hawks described a situation before there was a membership, before there was emoji, in which I described it's first come, first serve for this money. You want to get the money before it runs out. And you swarmed like a bunch of hawks and got that money and got not 15,000, but an average of $45,000 from third stimulus. When fall of December, when summer of this year came around, some of you got an additional round because I said to get an additional round. But 2 weeks ago, I brought third stimulus back in this channel. I understood that you needed money for your bills. You need your bills paid today. You needed cash. You needed cash cleared up. And that was third stimulus. The epiphany was the following. Number one, a lot of people didn't think that they can get another round if they got a round early this year. And number two, a lot of people didn't know that there was still money there. If they hadn't gotten it, they thought it was all gone. Well, it wasn't. And I said, go get it. And the success stories continue to come on in. The average view of this channel in the last 2 weeks has gotten $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent, and 1 or 2 utilities. Freeing up cash, and that freed up cash means that they don't have to spend $1,000 on rent for the month of December. Now they're putting that $1,000 to holiday gifts. Not all the $1,000, but some of the $1,000 to those holiday gifts. And the incredible stories continue to come on in. If you have an incredible story, send it to me on private message, social media. If I haven't featured on air, send it to me again. Perhaps I missed it. Amy says, thank you for your unprecedented dedication to helping viewers attain financial independence during the incredible time. I love her Amy's story. Why? Because she lives in rural Kentucky, summer shade. My deepest thoughts go for the residents of Kentucky and neighboring states ravaged by the tornadoes. And I hope Amy and her family are okay as well. She got a new round of utilities last week. She previously got 2 rounds from this channel. She got a new round of rent last week. She previously got another round, and she got SNAP. So I like Amy's story because she wants you to know that even in rural agrarian areas, there is money across the board. The next incredible story came in from Judy, and Judy's story was incredible. Judy understood that when you get this cash, you don't have to pay for the rent, and instead of not having to pay for the rent, you can go get some holiday gifts, and that's exactly what she did. She said, I'm so happy I was able to get Christmas gifts I wanted to give my loved ones because I got $3,000 for December, January, and February rent. There you go. That's how we rock and roll. She got rent previously from this channel. She says she's going to get rent next year. She says, you're the best. Happy holidays. You're the best as well. Back to you, Judy. Sandra got money as well. Viewers continue to get money across the board. There is Tonya who got money, Lisa Holt who got money. There's Thorne Diaz who got money. There's Deborah who got money. There is John Meyer, Chef John Meyer, you know him as well. There's Lynn Glenn. She got rent early this year and got another round just recently. There is D. Miller, who says, I got 4 more months of rent. There you go. There's Robin, who says, you're an angel in disguise. I appreciate it. She got multiple rounds this week. How do you get multiple rounds at the same time? I'll go over in just a second. Madonna got money. Kathy Cheney says, you're godsend. I appreciate that, Kathy. She got about $5,000 to $6,000. Then we have a Morel who got 3 rounds just recently. We have Mei Lu. I love Mei Lu's story. Why? Because I've been featuring Mei Lu's story for the last 2 weeks, and guess what? I showed you how to get extra money, and she got the extra money overnight. In the last 2 days, she sent me a private message that said she got another $600, $700. I love it. I'm going to go back to Mei Lu later in this video. There's Scarpia got money. Lorica got money. Jay Grant says, we love you to death. I speak for all of us. He got another $5,000. And then I turn to Chris's story. I love Chris's story. Why? Because he got $10,000 from this earlier this year. And he said, I would have never known about this had you not made these recordings the last few days. I went back and I got another $5,000. So get your pen and paper right now. If you're not a member, if you are a member, get that newsletter in front of you. We're going to go over these sums of money for you to get right now. This is your Christmas stimulus. Happy holidays. There we go. We are going to get that rent, utilities, mortgages, and we're going to start first with the rent. The rent is a lot of money, and boy, it is just swarming with money. Let's look at the graphic from 3 months ago. This was then. The numbers have gone up a lot. It is now upwards of $40,000. So go get this incredible sums of money for rent. Where do you get it? 6 places. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, and State House Authority. And the key words you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You say the same words if you're looking for that mortgage assistance. There are 3 musts you must do. First, you must reach out to all 6 places. Number 2, you must get multiple applications on file, as many places as you can. Number 3, you must get multiple rounds. So if you got a round early this year, get another round today. If you got a round from one organization yesterday, you can turn to another organization and get another round today. Get that incredible money for rent right off the board. Then utilities, you can get that as well. You reach out to all your utility companies. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000. Again, you're going to say utility assistance because of COVID. SNAP, it's money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. If you got a third stimulus check, you should be getting SNAP. Pick up the phone and call them. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year. Yeah, over 10 years, that is $250,000 because he watched LALATE. Nisi and Art Sullivan started the trend. They had gotten 3 items. I said, okay, they got 3 items. Everyone else get 3 items. Well, Mark was at 2 at 32. I said, Mark was your third. He got his third. Brought him to 50,000 from 30,000. Now he's at over 100,000. Continues to get those sums of money. Here's Lorraine. She was at 105. Now she's at 120. The sky is the limit. In the last week, we had one viewer get the single biggest payout ever in the history of this channel for a family from a RECON. $138,000. Incredible. Congratulations. Another viewer got $40,000 last week. Now, let's turn to Johnny. Johnny's 3-part story shows you how to listen to the videos and how to do it correctly. Part 1 of Johnny's story started a few weeks ago. He started with $0 at the early part of the week. By the middle of the week, he had 3 programs approved, $45,000. Just like 2 other viewers that same week, he did not even know. Johnny heard my recordings, in which I say, keep on getting multiple other sums of money. So he did. He didn't settle for 3 programs approved. He got more. By the end of the week, he got 7 programs approved. Why do I like part 1 of the story? Because Johnny clearly made 15 phone calls. You're going to have a rejection rate of about 20 to 50%. Expect to get some no's on the phone. Johnny got those no's, so that means he had to have made 15 phone calls. Yes, that's how you do it. And how much did he get from those 7 programs approved? $80,000. For the viewer who says I made 1 phone call and I got a rejection, I don't think I'm doing this right. You're doing it completely right because you're going to get rejections across the board. Part 2 of Johnny's story is the following Monday. He reached out to his family members, and 2 of them said, "What have you been doing?" I got $80,000 last week from LALATE. They said, "I've heard about him." From what? Third stimulus. They said, "How come broadcast media hasn't been talking about it?" He says, "They don't cover it." He does. Let me show you how I get this money. And by the end of the week, they each got $50,000. Incredible. It shows you the power of information. And this is why you watch this channel, as Johnny says. This channel is now the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America and the number 1 geopolitical news channel covering the subject matter, which is geopolitical news. Part 3 of this incredible story continues with what happened with Johnny 3 Saturdays ago. I got a private message from Johnny. He says, "Hey, LALATE." I kept on pushing. And guess what? People kept on coming over the house. They said, "What are you doing?" I showed them. And they said, "Help me." And I helped more people. And I continue to help people. I helped 32 people get money from your videos for third stimulus. I said, "Johnny, that's incredible. How much money did you get them?" $850,000. That's how you do it. So go right on this video right now and become a member. Sign up for that membership link this very moment. I want you to become a member to get the incredible newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system that features the big money for you to get this third stimulus money. First, it features the 6 places featured in this recording. It features the 3 musts featured in this recording. It also features the nonprofits not featured in this recording, the nonprofits and what they do and what they pay for, not covered in this recording. It also features the important letter from Treasury describing what you're getting and knowing that letter before you make the phone call, not covered in this video as well. Consider becoming a member today to get that incredible newsletter. And with that, let's go back into that incredible 4th stimulus, which we left off last at the housing provision. 3 new housing provisions in there, and boy, are they incredible. They are the home repairs if you live in a low-income community, the weatherize your home for all homes across the board, and then the first-time home purchases, which would be money given to the seller at the time of escrow in your name. Let's jump into the other provisions. This is RECON. They got $150 billion of in-home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. They got in there also the incredible Pell Grant, $550 check, and then they got the $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, U.S. auto manufactured and made in a union shop. But then we get to the best provision of this entire RECON is the cheaper medical insurance. Cheaper medicine, sorry. This is Medicare Part D and Medicare Part B, the most expensive medication, like cancer, arthritis, and diabetes. An insulin shot dropping from $1,000 to $35 overnight. It will start with 20 medications on day 1. It will grow to 30 medications by the year 2028. They cannot increase more than the rate of inflation, or there's a penalty provision. A penalty provision? You can't have a penalty provision in a recon. So says Pat Toomey, the GOP senator. And he's likely right. I agree with him. And that is what's happening this week. What is happening this week? The Senate parliamentarian is set to rule this week on the fate of every provision in the recon. She's been looking at them since the spring, and she now has the final edits of that recon and is set to rule. What am I anticipating? Number one, I'm anticipating that provision I just went over is going out, the penalty. Number two, immigration reform. I think it's going out. She previously said it cannot go in there. Number three, the paid leave. Very, very fascinating. Some people think it's going to fail with her. If it survives, Chuck and Joe Manchin have a big battle because Joe Manchin doesn't want it in there and says he's going to vote against the recon if it stays in there. Remember, if a provision falls out, the money doesn't. The money can be reallocated to you across the board. Now, when you look at this graphic, $15,000 of checks, multiple checks in this fourth stimulus recon, understand there's likely a lot more. There's likely a lot more because all those checks from third stimulus are continued over, where we're paying about $45,000. There's those new checks coming from the senators, those add-ons from the House that we went over. So this is clearly about 50, 60,000. This is not really 15,000. Now, what is important to note across the board is that there's still some more checks for me to go over. They got in there the universal pre-kindergarten for 3 to 4-year-olds. Wow, that is huge. They got in there the child care, the child tax credit, and the earned income tax credit. Those are all continuations of third stimulus, and that's why they have to get this done, because they're set to expire. They got in there the hearing, that's a check. The covered benefits, that is a covered benefit. We went over the Pell Grant, also the nutrition, and also the housing. So let's take a detour for just a second to that student loan debt and what to anticipate with that. There's an offer on the table to forgive $10,000 of student loan debt across the board. The Democrats should take it. They can ask for more money next year. The president previously forgave student loan debts for individuals who became disabled after graduation, went to work in the nonprofit sector or the public sector. This stimulus coming in January to legislation. When I say coming in January, I mean they're going to work on in January, not that you're going to get the check for in January. First, let's go over the COLA benefits. The COLA step up does come January 1. This is a 5.9% step up for all your benefits across the board. Now, if you're if you're a veteran, you may see it activated in the month of December right now. But this stimulus comes right behind it because it says COLA doesn't work. It doesn't work. They want to raise you up one big time to get you caught up, then apply a new benchmark. If that new benchmark will be inflation. Starting in December 2022. Remove the income cap, remove the marriage penalty, and love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest. Meantime, let's go over what is happening with that Federal Reserve in the next 24 and 48 hours. Oh boy, this is the culmination of an entire year of recordings on this channel about the Federal Reserve, and a lot of predictions are going to smack really hard. Let's go over the details. First, the biggest issue is what is happening in the meetings of the Federal Reserve on Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesday and Wednesday, the Federal Reserve has the most important meetings they've had of the entire year, in which they basically give you some guidance as to what's happening with Fed policy next year. When the pandemic hit, the Federal Reserve came in and started buying mortgage-backed securities to create liquidity, cash, flowing in this economy, so there would be no run on cash in case people ran on banks when the pandemic first hit in March of 2020. There was no liquidity problem, so we didn't have that problem. That was called federal stimulus, and that federal stimulus has now is no longer needed. So to remove it is called tapering, removing it slowly, not cutting it off on one particular day, tapering. Now, how are they going to taper? We had initially thought no less than 2 months ago the tapering was going to be slow. Then the next issue was slowly after the tapering. Then they would do one interest rate spike and a second interest rate spike. But when would they do them? We initially were thinking one interest rate spike in December 2022, and then the next one in 2023. That's where we were no less than a month ago. Very slow tapering and only one interest spike at the end of next year. That is not where we are right now. What's important for you to know is in the next 48 hours, we are going to hear guidance for where the Fed policy is going to be. And if I'm correct on this, then the Fed Reserve is going to do something dramatically different. Wall Street's not ready for this news, and Wall Street will have a correction or crash just like it did before, and crypto will crash as well. What's anticipated to happen? I'm predicting that the Federal Reserve will do a faster tapering and will signal that there will be 2 interest rate spikes next year, with the first one as early as Q1, the start of 2022. This is not something we anticipate. Why do I believe it's going to happen? Because the Federal Reserve now has seen 3 major economic data points come in the last 7 days. And you cannot run for these data points. Number one, 2 Fridays ago, the jobs number, the monthly jobs number came in and showed the unemployment rate at the lowest since nearly a half century. You've been with this channel since day one. I had always told you the Federal Reserve and the White House looks at unemployment as the gauge of where things are. Well, he got his unemployment rate. The Federal Reserve got his unemployment rate. In fact, it's so low, it's actually at the rate the Federal Reserve wanted the unemployment rate for next year. So it's that low. Number 2, the job participation number is very good, meaning people are not on the sideline anymore. They're coming in the workforce. And finally, the labor rate, how much you're paying them, came down. That's why Wall Street crashed 2 Fridays ago, down 1,000 points, and has not really rebounded that much. That's why crypto crashed, down 50%, has not really rebounded that much. Now, that was the first economic data point. The second economic data point came in last Thursday, and that was the new jobless claim number. If you've been with this channel since day one, I report on this number every single Thursday for every single week that this channel's been around. And when I press record on April 25th, 2020, it was 1 million. 1 million new unemployed people since the week before. And it was 1 million for 25 plus weeks, the worst since the Great Depression. In recent months, it's come down to 800, then 700, then 600. And it was just recently 300,000 earlier this month. Where did it come in just this last week, last Thursday? 184,000. The lowest number since the 1960s. When you compare the population of the United States in the 1960s versus the US population this year, yeah, this is an astronomically low number. Number 3, the last number that came in last Friday is perhaps the most important number, and it's the inflation number. This is where I think I deserve a pat on my back about this, because earlier this year, I was always talking about fifth stimulus with you and talking about the benchmark inflation. And I always said, I believe the inflation rate, I initially said 10%. Then I said, maybe I'm too high. Let me tell you 5%. I talked about Jeremy Siegel, the Wharton School of Business professor, saying 20%. I said, he's a little too high. I was too high at 10. I said, I'll come down to 5. And even at 5, I thought I was a little too low. But I felt a little squirmish saying 10 because I think it was scaring people. I didn't want to scare you by saying 10%. So I came down to 5. I probably should not have come down that far. At the time, the Federal Reserve was saying 2 to 3% in December 2021 is what we're going to look for, and that's going to be temporary for about 30 days and go back down. It was going to be transitory, a word that I did on this channel. I did a hand gesture. This is what the Federal Reserve showed as a chart. It was going to go up in December to 2 to 3%, come back down. I shouted hogwash every single time I could all throughout the year. Last Friday, the number came in, 6.9%. It ain't 2%. It ain't 3%. It's exactly in the spectrum of where I said. I said 5 to 10. It came in at 6.9. A number no one thought was possible except you and I with my reporting on this channel. And it's not transitory. It's not temporary. It is going to go down, but it's not going to come down next month. So I believe that Wall Street has not baked in this risk that the Federal Reserve is going to come in stronger, and I believe there's going to be a massive market correction. Now, understand, December is usually called a Santa Claus rally, where this is where stocks and everything goes up. I think we're going to have an anti-Santa Claus rally, and there you go. And with that, let's go into the final 5 minutes of this video, which may be the final 10 minutes of this video, because it's the most important part of this entire video, and it all starts right now. Number 1, let's go over timeline. Is Chuck Schumer going to get this recon done by Christmas? Well, the answer is, does he have enough days, if you count out calendar days? Does he have enough days, if nothing goes off the rails, nothing goes off the tracks, to get this done by the 24th? It's insanely tight, folks. I mean, it's down to the day. I mean, if he had maybe 3 extra days, I said, yeah. That's why I'm saying 27, 29, I think he can get it done. Do I think it's going to become a law in the month of December? Well, let me make this clear. I think he has enough days to make it a law in the month of December, and I think it will become a law in the month of December. What day? It's hard to say. But I think the 24th is really tight. Now, I told you earlier in this video that Chuck has another version of his quote. He sometimes talks two ways. The Senate will vote by Christmas and pass it in the Senate. Yeah, he can get that done. I don't think the House is going to have time to get it back to them before Christmas. So it's, you know, we're sort of pulling at straws. All right, now let's go over the substance. I immediately saw this morning it started to hit, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. The coverage of this subject matter anywhere else in print media is basically running the story that Chuck says is going to be done by Christmas, and their angling is exactly what you think it would be. They're not talking about the calendar. They're not talking about how many days. They're not talking about how many days to vote on this or how many days to vote on this. They're not talking about the provisions. They're talking about the reality show, the reality TV show, Joe Manchin versus Chuck Schumer. And they're basically saying, can he get Joe Manchin to agree upon things between that? So let me make very clear. My focus is not the reality TV show, and not to say it doesn't exist, but my focus is on first, does he have enough physical days to get these done on the calendar? Does he have enough physical days to get the voting done? Really insanely tight before Christmas, absolutely possible after Christmas. Absolutely, he has enough days on the calendar to get it done the 27th, the 28th. Absolutely true. Next, the coverage of the subject matter is going to become very reality TV-ish in the next few days. So be prepared. Turn it off. Just turn it off and just watch here. I got to be very blunt about it. It's going to be just very sort of non-informational and very sort of dramatics. You know, Joe and Chuck, Joe and Chuck, Joe and Chuck, Joe and Chuck. But what's in there? Well, it's just Joe and Chuck, Joe and Chuck. And you're not learning anything. It's sort of like watching soap opera. Yeah, if you want to watch a soap opera, you can watch that. Santa Barbara goes, Days of Our Lives in DC. Yeah, that's not what I'm here to go over with you. What I'm here to go over with you is the procedural. Can he procedurally get it done? And now I'm going to go to the substantive part. There is always going to be a substantive concern that the whole thing blows up. I mean, the whole thing blows up and nothing gets agreed upon. And you have to always consider that as a possibility that, it just all blows up. So do I see it blowing up? No, I really don't. I don't. I do believe that everyone wants this to become a law. I don't think there's no one that doesn't want it to become a law among the Democrats. So I don't see it as blowing up. But I have to give you that guidance. Next, I want you to know that you really absolutely have to watch every single video between now and when this becomes law, because this is a Purple Hawk moment. Remember the Purple Hawk expression. It describes people who pound to get the money before anyone else. When it becomes law, you're going to look at it, and it may be very different than the way it was 24 hours before. You know, the money for the home repairs may be out, or the dental may be out, or something may be dramatically changed in the 24-hour period. I want you to stay on every single video, because it's not time or place to sort of show up after the fact and say, okay, what I missed. You're going to say, whatever happened to that provision? Well, you didn't tune in on Thursday. The provision was taken out on Thursday. You didn't tune in on Wednesday when the provision was increased 500% on Wednesday. So you have to stay on top of this. This is where you don't want to miss. You don't want to go on vacation, show up, come back in 2 weeks, say, okay, so where is this? Next, money. Let's go to the very, very important thing. Forced stimulus is not going to pay you a penny in your wallet before Christmas. Absolutely not. You know that. I mean, it's just very obvious. And it's not going to get you anything in your wallet before Christmas, before the end of the year, December 31st either. There's really no way to get anything in this forced stimulus recon before the end of the year. I've seen some quotes in the last 24 hours, and the quotes are for very, very nice viewers. And sometimes they seem to have forgotten. There's some people saying, well, when second stimulus became law, I got the check in December. I had people from second stimulus who got the check in February. I mean, it took 3 weeks. I mean, I had people who had Chime and Cash App. They got the check in 2 minutes after it became law. I mean, it was like a law. It's like, oh, okay, there's the deposit, which they have their own little thing, Chime and Cash App, to get to you quickly. But no, it is not, the fourth stimulus is not going to show in your wallet. So that is why third stimulus is so important. I am very, very excited for you and how well you have done in the last year. I'm just ecstatic for you, because in December 2020, when you needed money, I said, here is this money, go get it. Here is this money, go get it. And you got it. Then 2 weeks ago, I said, I want you to get third stimulus. I want you to get this money. And you got it. How do you get more of it? Here you go. Here are two ways you get more money from third stimulus, which I'm just revealing today on Afternoons LA. First, if you are looking at your success story, and I read it on air, and you notice that you got 2 utilities, well, go get that third or fourth utilities, because everyone has 3 or 4 utilities. So go get that third and fourth utility. That is an extra $500-$600. We have the wonderful viewer who I featured early in this video, where she said, you know what, Mei-Lu, she had gotten 2 utilities. She got about $5,000-$6,000. She went back and got that extra $500-$600. That's the first way you get extra money. Number 2, the second way you get extra money is reaching out to another organization, getting another round. There's nothing that precludes you from getting money from another organization, so long as it doesn't sort of overlap. So if you got rent from December, January, February from one organization, today reach out to another organization, get that rent from November, March, and April. There you go. Those are 2 ways you get those additional sums of money. Finally, let's look and compare where you are and where everyone else will be. And there is such a dichotomy, and it's going to really separate big next year. This channel launched on April 25th, 2020. And at the time, people were asking, how do I get my EIDL approved? That I applied for, it was not getting approved. So you want to look for an informational video. Sort of like, how do I do leg stretches? And you open your YouTube app and you say, how do I do leg stretches? Well, you wanted to know how to get that EIDL approved. And I made an informational video, and I continue to make informational videos. How to do this. This is what this channel has always been. How to get this money. How to get all the money in fourth stimulus recon, how to get all the money in third stimulus recon is what you could call this video as well. And along the way, some people sort of, not the viewers of this channel, not the members, not the subscribers, sort of came around and just became donor people and said, when am I getting a check in my wallet? That's not what this channel is about. This is not a channel that tells you what day you receive a check. This is an informational channel. Shows you how to get big sums of money in these incredible recons, how to get financial independence, how to make money on crypto, how, as a new video coming to this channel, how to make money in the metaverse space. Where this channel was to show you how to get money from EIDL. Where this channel is now, showing you how to get money from third stimulus, showing you how to get money from fourth stimulus, and where we're going in the future, showing you how to get money from other items across the board when fourth stimulus becomes law, how to make money in the metaverse. That donut guy is going to end the end of the year exactly the way I told you he's going to end it. He's going to end with not a single more penny than $1,400. He didn't want to learn anything or apply anything, and that is the differences between people who want to learn, people who want to take the information, and people who want to apply the information. I'm so excited for you and how your informational curve, how your educational curve has gone so strong and so high in such a short period of time. I have a lot more information to deliver you this week because it's going to be a jam-packed week, so do not miss any video across the board. Any day, any video, and I'll be very frank with you, you disappear for 2 days and come back 2 days later, it may be an entirely different recon. It may be very confusing for you to understand what happened in the day or 2 you missed, so don't disappear. I want you to be here across the finish line, as all those incredible visions are on the battleground. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. RECON. I want you part of the global family. Like this video. Join me next on Evenings LA at 5 o'clock. Then at 6 o'clock is Evenings Countdown. 7 o'clock. Holiday Street Cinemas, 8 o'clock, Calcino, part of our now 3-hour programming block on evenings. And then we have our overnight shows continuing on the hour, by the hour, until the new day with Early Mornings LA. Subscribe, like this video, have a beautiful afternoon, and stay with LA for more.